Parents may be mentally ready for the school year, but not so much for the kids. But are we all prepared to help our kids be successful? We're talking about getting our kids ready for the new school year. What do you need to know? What school supplies are a must? And what is the best way to build a back-to-school wardrobe? We're talking back to school with Mark Watson from the Wayne-Westland Schools and Brianna Sullivan with Target. Sergeant Robert Wilkie of the Westland Police Department, he's going to go over some school safety tips, and Tara Douglas from the Westland JCPenney will cover back-to-school fashion. You're watching a special back-to-school edition of In the W. Well, it's back to school time, and all across the All-American City, families are gearing up for another successful school year. And joining us today on In the W is the Executive Director of Wayne-Westland Schools and a former elementary principal himself, Mark Watson.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, Mark, we're here in Wildwood Elementary School, one of your old schools.
It is. It's great to be back here. Great to be back.
It's hard to believe it's that time of the year. Summer went by pretty quick, huh?
It absolutely goes by quick, super quick, but we're super excited to have the kids come back.
Well, I know that you're a father of three, as I am, so I mean, we're actually living this back to school time. So how's the Watson household? You guys ready for school?
The Watson household is just like everyone around America, like you mentioned, getting excited, getting ready, really just getting the butterflies in the stomach about school's beginning.
Yeah, we've been trying for a week now to get our kids back on a sleeping schedule that's going to be conducive to a productive first week of school.
You're not alone.
So, Mark, with that said, you know, you've been in education for a long time. You've had a lot of going back to schools. So, what's some of your advice for parents as they start to gear up for another successful year?
Yeah, that's a great question. The beginning of the school year is such an amazing time. It's so exciting. So you think about your personal families, but what we do is I'm lucky enough to have been in education for 24 years. Day one is super important. So right away, parents just need to be really excited about school starting. That'd be one of the best pieces of advice, that you honor and celebrate how fun things were in the summertime, but also move into how exciting school is going to be. And then establish bedtime routines, getting up earlier, making sure that we're going to bed earlier. Routines such as reading every night for 15 minutes. Those are helpful hints to reduce the anxiety and get things ready. But in addition to that, is having a plan before and after school. The before and after school part can be a really stressful thing for kids and families. One specific thing is if kids do take the bus, we have some great options in Wayne-Westland to support kids and families. So when you're starting to plan, you think about, if my child does take a bus, they can access MyStar Parent Portal to see where their bus routes are, what time they will be there. But in addition to that, we're really excited about a new app called Here Comes the Bus. This app gives live time, real time about where your child's bus is. So if you're in a hurry and you're busy, you can immediately look at your app and say, okay, I've got to go pick up my child. That's a really important thing. So embedded in creating a plan, you talk about using the app with your child. One piece I want to mention too is our kindergarten families who are new to us, who are going to be excited too, but a little anxious, is to make sure there's always a parent at the bus stop when we drop off students, because if there isn't a parent for safety reasons, then we bring back the student to school just to make sure they're safe. So that's a good piece of advice to make sure our new families are aware of that.
Well, that's a great addition, and it's like how you're incorporating technology into the school year as well. So, you know, it's got to be tough because, you know, a lot of parents have kids that are a lot of different ages. So, I mean, are there different tips for different grades and age groups that you'd recommend?
Yeah, there are, and some of the tips obviously would be for more age appropriate for young students. When you think about bed routines, our young kids really need a routine. Everyone needs a routine, but our young students for sure will need to build that in as they move on consistently. And then really for the older students is just to make sure that you're continuing dialogue with them, make sure that you hear what their needs are, their challenges are, to reduce the anxiety that can come for both a kindergarten student and a senior.
You know, you mentioned challenges. What are some of the challenges that kids are facing that perhaps we as parents don't even think about?
Yeah, especially for the long summer, and we think about how much time there is, we start to forget perhaps some of the anxiety that kids might be facing. I know that our kids who may be using a locker for the first time, this may be a really anxious time. So when it comes down to the locker uses, I want to just put out there there'll be so many friendly faces and adults that will be smiling and helping out with lockers, because I was a middle school principal once too, and boy, that was one of the biggest challenges and hurdles. But once you overcome it, it's such a wonderful experience. So that's one aspect that can help out.
What about school supplies? I mean, how challenging is it to ensure that the kids have or that not just kids, that students have the right tools that they need as they head into the new school year?
Sure. Setting them up for success is something that we talk about at Wayne-Westland all the time, and we're proud to have community relationships with so many people that help donate items to us. So we have access to book bags and school supplies. So if anybody needs anything to help their child be successful in school for school supplies, we have 3 facilities with family resource centers that can help support them in any way with book bags. And Adams, we have Franklin, and we have John Glenn High School, where they can go and talk about the needs that they have.
Well, I think that's important, and there's no shame needing a little bit of help, and I think families now are facing a lot of different challenges financially for a lot of different things, and so at the end of the day, if you need a little bit of help for that going back to school supplies, certainly take the school district up on this, because there's a lot of people that want to help out, and it really does take a community to educate our children. So I'm glad to see that there's some help there for school supplies as well.
Absolutely.
So is there 1 or 2 things that you think that every child needs to be successful going into the year?
There's many things, but I like the framework of a couple of things. Most importantly, to make sure that parents are talking to kids consistently. Like you mentioned, the long summer, when perhaps we forget some things, open dialogue with kids to make sure that they understand what their needs are. Because if you're not having conversations with them, we're not going to know. The anxiety could come up before they even know it. So just having that constant conversation. And we ask and we invite parents to be involved in their school. Yep. That's the best way to help be part of a successful opportunity for kids in their learning, is to be in that PTO, volunteer, be in the watchdogs. If it not only for one day, it makes a magic moment for a child, I don't care what age, to come and invest in your school. And then that way you know what's happening, you're building relationships, and that's so important to make sure there's a successful moment for all kids.
You mentioned anxiety, and I think a lot of students, they feel anxiety because they're going to be, maybe perhaps they're coming to a new school, or that they've just moved to the district, or they're moving up to middle school from elementary school. I know that the school district has really done a great job creating an anti-bullying campaign. Is there anything that us as parents can do to kind of talk to our children before they start to school on how to handle those situations?
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest anxiety pieces when you think about, are my friends going to be there? And number 2 is, I don't want anything to happen, and what's bullying look like? So we absolutely have a very strong policy in our code of conduct that does not permit anyone interfering with someone's education or happiness in their learning experience. So if something occurs, we recommend to parents to make sure they continuously tell them students must report something. We have to know what's happening. We're very proactive, but we have a strong situation where we're building relationships all the time, but we also have a climate and culture coach in all of our buildings that helps support a positive environment.
Great.
But there's also a reactionary piece where if something does happen, that once we know about it, we address it very aggressively and firmly to support the education and safety of all kids.
Great. I know social media plays a big part in that. Any social media tips for parents before their kids head back to school? Well, that could be an episode.
Absolutely, but it's a perfect question because it helps a couple things, Mayor Wild. Is one, the routines, where we got to reduce our time off our devices to help them get back to school, but also we have to be friendly on our devices. And when we're dealing with age-appropriate things, it may be our older kids or even our middle-aged students who are perhaps reaching out and exploring some different types of social media that aren't going to be safe, or perhaps even having conversations and texts that aren't appropriate that could actually hurt somebody's feelings or actually more importantly threaten them. And that indeed would affect them at school, and we would address that under our code of conduct.
So Mark, usually with the new school year, shortly thereafter, there's the first parent-teacher conferences. How important is that for parents to attend? And not only, it doesn't stop that day. That's just the beginning. How important is it for both parents, and how important is it for students to know that their parents want to come to parent-teacher conferences.
Yeah, it's something that when you talk about relationships with your school, the parent guardian coming and investing and finding out about the school, the learning opportunity for your child, but also the child knowing that you're coming. That sets the tone of really that everyone's working together. So many parent-teacher conferences I've been involved with, both as a teacher and as an administrator, has been valued at the fact that there is the school relationship with the child and the parent to make a successful learning environment and to make sure that the communication is always there, because things arise. And when you have that relationship with someone, it's easier to have that conversation.
So Mark, do you miss it? I mean, being a principal right now would be an extremely busy time for you. I know that with your new role, it's extremely busy too, but do you miss those principal days?
I miss it dramatically. Walking into my home, which was for 3 years, I walked in and just all the memories, the smiles, and really just I was hypersensitive to the fact that it's coming, the school year is coming, and I'm going to be in a different role, but I'm still going to be helping kids. So I keep my perspective, and I know that when kids walk into this school and all the schools across Wayne-Westland, they're going to see caring adults who want the best for their child. And for me as a parent, that brings a smile to my face, and I know that our kids will be in a great place. All
right, well, great. So you did a great job here at Wildwood. We wish you the best in your new role. So before we wrap up, any final tips for those getting ready for back to school?
Well, I wish everyone in Wayne-Westland Schools and your children as well a great school year. And remember, be involved and have fun. And the most important piece is to build strong relationships and have a great school year.
All right, well, there it is. Mark Watson, the new Executive Director for Wayne-Westland Schools, giving us all the tips we need for a successful school year. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mayor Wild.
All right, we'll be right back within the W.
Coming up next on In the W is Brianna Sullivan from Target.
What? The storks are bringing me a baby brother!
Storks know how to keep kids safe.
Aww.
Do you?
What? Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
We can do this together!
To know for sure that your child is in the right seat for their age and size.
Remember when I was a baby, felt like 1 minute ago?
What? Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
What he said.
Welcome back to In the W. So we're talking back to school time, and in the city of Westland, one of the great places to get back to school supplies is Target. That's right across from the mall in the Shop and Dine district. And joining us now from Target is Brianna Sullivan. And are you ready for going back to school time?
Yeah, we are pretty ready. We have like a full corner full of back to school stuff that everyone needs.
All right, well, we have a lot of that stuff here laid out here today, and why don't you talk about some of the stuff we have on display?
Yeah, so we have a lot of our own brand, which is Up and Up. So that's like our local brand. It's a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
That's what Target carries, and just lots of colorful items.
Okay, we got notebooks and...
Yeah, and some erasers, the crayons, just the essentials that the kids need.
Okay, so, I mean, I tell you, I have 3 young children, and I have a senior, and I have a 9th grader and a 7th grader, and it seems like all of them need different types of things for school. So how does Target figure out how you have everything for no matter what grade you're going into? So, I mean, it's got to be pretty tough.
Yeah, we just have a lot of different styles and colors and different, more mature stuff, more plain stuff, just so it ranges around for everyone.
All right, so I know that Target also works with the school districts, and you actually take a look at what the teachers are requesting that their students have.
Yep.
Can you talk about that?
And so Target has partnered with like the local Westland community. We look up their school list just so we have a wide range of what they need. Also, we have tons of teachers that reach out to us just to give us some more advice also.
All right, well, that is a great tool for you. You can go on this Wayne-Westland School District website, look up your school, look up your teacher, and they'll actually have a list of supplies, and you can print that off and bring it down to Target, right?
Yes, for sure.
Well, I can tell you my family loves shopping at Target for back to school time because, like every other family, we're shopping on a budget. Mm-hmm. And I know that some of the things like electronics that are being required now for school, they can get pretty pricey. So Target has something for every budget, and you also do some price matching as well?
Yeah, for sure. So we price match. So say you bought a laptop a week ago and that's on sale the next week. As long as you have your receipt, we price match it within 2 weeks.
Okay, great. Well, I can tell you that my two daughters, they're Lily and Peyton, they're both fashionistas, and so they're not just happy with just any old backpack. They want something fancy, something that's stylish, and it looks like Target has a little bit of all that.
Yes, yes. We have tons of different styles, colors, everything that I think every kid would want to have.
All right, so what are some of the most popular things for this back to school year?
So we have lots of colorful things. We have multiple different outfits that Target just does everything for everyone. We have some cool backpacks, just everything someone would need.
Well, of course, Target's got everything. It doesn't matter if it's back to school time. You guys always have a lot of this stuff on stock, but I know that this is a busy time, and the store's actually very busy today. So if you haven't came out and got your school supplies yet, you need to do it. You need to do it quick, and Target's the place. I can tell you, in the City of Westland, we appreciate the corporate partnership we have with Target. I know that you've gotten involved with a couple projects here in town. You want to talk about those?
Yeah, so we just did a project with the cops of Westland. We donated 2 children's bikes and helmets and all that good stuff. We also partner with, we do stuff squad bus. So we just try to help the community with whatever we can and give gift cards for whatever activities that we can donate for.
All right, well, those are both great events, and we really appreciate the partnership with Target. You know, before we wrap up, I just remembered, you know, we were talking earlier with Mark Watson from the Wayne-Westland Community Schools. We were talking about anxiety, and I know that a lot of students, they have anxiety because they're going to a new school, they're going to have new friends. And a way that a lot of kids are dealing with that now is with their lockers. They customize them. I can tell you my daughter spent a lot of time every year trying to figure out how they're going to customize their lockers. Is that something Target can help out with?
Yes, we have tons of stuff back there. We have magnets, we have poster boards, we have like legitimately everything that you would ever need. We even have colorful. It's just we have a lot to offer from different cabinet sizes and everything like that, just to make the lockers a little bit more personal for the kids.
Well, that's what it comes down to. Every student's got their own personality, their own style, and Target can help with that and help relax some of that anxiety of going to or back to school.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Well, Brianna, we appreciate everything that Target does. Is there anything else that our back to school shoppers need to know?
Just know that we have everything located here, and also even after the school year, we do have a section full of stuff for the stationery location also.
All right, well, you heard it from Brianna, so there's no better place to shop for back to school shopping than Westland Target. So we'll be right back with more in the W.
Coming up next on In the W is Tara Douglas, General Manager of JCPenney.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you're beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Next.
Say it's important to dress for success, and that goes for our sons and daughters as they get ready to go back to school. So what better place to find practical, stylish, but affordable clothing for back to school than here at the Westland JCPenney's. Joining us now is the General Manager, Tara Douglas.
Thank you, Mirwell. Thank you for coming to our store today in JCPenney Westland, and hopefully get some shopping done today while you're in here.
Well, I do have three youngsters that are getting ready to go back to school, and they like coming to JCPenney's because, like I said, you have a lot of practical stuff here, but it's also affordable, but it's stylish too, and that's what they like.
Right. Well, JCPenney stands for great styles and amazing values. And this back to school season, we've got a lot of good coupons, a lot of good events going on for you, so it's a good place for you to come start shopping.
All right, well, it's that time of the year, so what kind of stuff can we find here at JCPenney's as we get our young students ready for school?
Well, when you think about the most things that should be in every child's closet, we're going to start with some of the things that we have in our store. One is denim. Every kid needs a good piece of denim.
Now, is denim still in, or is denim out this year?
Denim's still in.
Denim's in. All right.
Denim's still in. The cut's a little different than they have been. If you think about denim, we've always been good at the skinny jean for the young men, and then the jeggings, and then some of these high-waisted jeans, which we refer to as the mom jean, are in this year. We have that extended down in our juniors department, is our young men's department.
Okay.
And then we have one of our top brands in Arizona, our own private brand here up in the kids department, which is one of our best sellers.
All right.
If you think about other items you're looking at, we definitely want to look at active this year. Is a big trend for active clothing, where we used to put our kids in always uniforms. Now the schools are allowing them to wear active merchandise. And then we also have the comfort look, which we see downstairs in our junior department, which is our flirted toque merchandise.
Okay.
It's kind of like that loungewear that you see the trend now. People are wearing not the dress up kind of clothing, but the more comfort look. And that's another style that's kind of like a must-have for us this year.
So what's the most popular stuff? What's the stuff that you gotta get, you can only get here at JCPenney's?
Well, definitely some of our private brands with our Arizona brand, but we do have national brands like Adidas and Nike and Puma and Reebok that we picked up this year alongside Champion. So we got a lot of good new brands that we picked up, but as for merchandise, a good pair of denim, a good piece of denim, some of the trend forward pieces that we have right now, and definitely a good tennis shoe. Definitely a good tennis shoe, which we probably have one of the largest ranges of tennis shoe brands that we've had since I've been here.
You know, tennis shoes now, it's not just, you think they used to be for tennis. Now they're stylish, they're individual, and you know, they kind of, you know, set you apart. And that goes to, you could say the same thing about backpacks too.
About backpacks. So we talk about our uniform shop. We've really heavily stocked in our uniforms right now. We have a lot of ranges and sizes. We go from 4 to 20 in boys, from 4 to 16 in girls, and then we have plus girls, and we have husky boys, and then we've actually extended our sizes down to our juniors and our young men's department. So that kid that kind of outgrows the children's department, we have that merchandise downstairs and the other areas too, and actually to accommodate the high schooler that's still in uniforms. So we do have a lot of extent, and then if you can't find what you're looking for, definitely we have those sizes and colors available on jcp.com.
So you guys have a little niche as far as the uniforms go, because if you go to a private school or you have to wear a certain uniform, you can help them with that, right?
Absolutely. If we can't fit them in-house, we definitely have a strong, a lot of merchandise on jcp.com for make it fit their needs. Ranges of sizes, a range of colors. I know some schools have specific colors. We have a range of sizes and colors available through jcp.com.
All right, so what's your advice for, you know, for the families that are out there? They're trying to figure out, it's back to school time, we got a lot of expenses. What type of budget should we put together, you know, for back to school? Can you help us with that?
Well, it depends. You know, how many kids do you have? How many people are you trying to accommodate? But what we do offer is, like right now, we have a coupon that we do offer. It's $10 off of $50 or more purchase when you talk about uniforms.
Well, that's helpful.
And apparel. Right now, we're running an event through the 15th. That's 20% off if you use your JCPenney cards. If you don't have one, we definitely can open up a line of credit for you. But we have other means that actually can save you money, put more money in your pocket. So from a budget, we don't get too much in budget. We probably have things in the store that can fit your budget down to our extreme value items. Okay. We have $10 tees, and we just picked up brands and novelty tees from Descendants and Fortnite, which is kind of popular right now. And then we actually have a lot of bonus packs, and we talk about bonus packs where you buy 5 pair of underwear, you get a 6 pair free, or 5 pair of socks, you get a 6 pair free. So we have a lot of things that actually get more for your money here at JCPenney than we probably have in the years before. So it's a good place to come shop and get to extend your value, or actually make your dollars go a long way here in store.
All right, so you have something that fits every budget.
Fits every budget, yeah.
So how do you do it where, you know, this time of the year, I mean, one day it's 80 degrees, the next day it's going to be 50 degrees. So how do you handle that?
Absolutely. That's the fickle weather we have in Michigan. The good thing about it, because we start back to school so late and the weather is so fickle here, that we actually accommodate the business by making sure we have short sleeves and shorts in our uniform shop and actually on the floor just to sell in general. But we also got cold cold weather, we got coats coming in already. So if you get a little more cool breeze, we got coat to accommodate you. And if it's still hot, as it has been in the next few days, we actually have shorts and short sleeves that can start the kids off on a good outfit for this school year.
All right. Well, when I walked in, I also saw you have all your summer wear that's on sale too. I noticed that too.
Absolutely. So we did a lot of new.
Is it too late to buy a bathing suit?
Absolutely not. We have a lot of seasonal merchandise that we just took some markdowns on. We want to move some of those goods. So it's a good place right now to shop either for the school year or for next year when you think about the vacation season.
All right. Well, we appreciate the partnership that we have with the City of Westland with JCPenney's. And I know you have a special giveaway. So if you need a little bit of help at going back to school time this year, they're doing a $500 giveaway. You want to talk about that?
Absolutely. So we're partnered with them all, and we're going to actually raffle off a $500 gift card for back to school for your back to school needs. The entry box will be upstairs in our towel department, our home department. It's going to start from right now to the actually 15th of September. So you have just that gift card just in time for you to actually finish up your back to school start, or even get it started. Because a lot of our customers do wait a little later to actually get through this. It's kind of hard to let summer go, I think.
That's true. So, so one more time, where can you get information on that?
You can get information in our home department upstairs for the $500 gift card giveaway. And then upstairs in the home department, you can also take a look at our dorm shop and take a look at some of our other areas like our salon and our Sephora inside JCPenney, which can get that back to college student ready to go. So we got a lot of product here, and you can see a couple of things that we have on the table, from the leader jewels to some of the my favorite is like this Bum Bum Rio de Janeiro set. And some of the masks, so those late nights that you're staying up and studying really hard, you can actually use some concealer and some things that we have out here that's you probably want to take your kid back to school with. So.
All right. Well, you've got a little bit of something for everybody, no matter what age your going back to school student is, and no matter what your budget is, JCPenney's has something for you.
Absolutely.
All right. Any final words? Any last advice for parents that are out there trying to get all this put together before school starts?
Just come to JCPenney's. We can actually help you with all your needs. We have bedding to apparel to Sephora to even getting your kids cuts. Right now we have going on for $10 kid cuts. So a lot of things that, what differentiates us from our competitors, that we can actually take care of you right here in the house with all your needs for back to school.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for being with us here today. Thanks for all you do. The store looks great. It's packed. You got lots of great inventory here, and there's no better place to look fashionable as you head back to school than here at Westland JCPenney's. Thanks, Tara.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Coming up next on In the W is Sergeant Bob Wilkie from the Westland Police Department.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
she doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Bob Wilkie with the Westland Police Department. I'm here today with my special helper, Alyssa, and we're going to go over some school safety tips from outside of Edison Elementary here today, okay? So, I've got some questions for her, and I was wondering if you could give me some answers as to some of the common questions kids might have with back-to-school safety, okay? So, my first question is about crossing the street. What do you think that kids should do when they're crossing the street to make sure that they're safe?
I would definitely look both ways. Even if you do see your friends across the street, I would not run. Make sure that there aren't any cars coming. Make sure that there aren't any bikes or anything coming, and make sure that you definitely look both ways. Even if you do see a friend, make sure you put safety first.
That's a great idea. So in other words, you need to stop, slow down, and even though you're excited, make sure there's not a car coming, because you could be hit by a car if you're too excited and you don't check the street first before you cross. Very good. Okay, what about bus safety? What do you think about bus safety? It's probably pretty closely related to the street safety, but what do you think would be good tips for kids as they're getting off the bus?
I would say don't run down the steps. Don't push or shove while trying to get through the aisle. And make sure you watch out for cars and people and bikes and stuff, like when you're crossing the street as you're getting off of the bus.
Very good. It sounds like the same rules kind of apply to crossing the street as well as getting off the bus. You need to definitely make sure that the road is clear before you try and cross, right? By looking both ways, right?
Right.
Right. Very good. That sounds good. As far as adults go and as far as the traffic safety here, it is very important that everybody out there who's driving and sees a bus stop knows that if the red lights are blinking, you need to stop for the bus. If the yellow lights are blinking and you're able to stop, you need to stop for the bus. This includes any kind of undivided roadway, including major roads. Any of the major surface streets within the city here, if it's not a divided roadway, you need to stop for traffic both ways when the red lights are activated. Okay? That's an adult tip. But next, on to another more child-related tip here is strangers. Strangers are definitely something that I get asked about, and something that kids want to know about. So what do you think are the best rules for when you encounter a stranger? If somebody was to come up and talk to you on the way to school, what would you think would be the best thing to do?
I would say if somebody tries to approach you or offers you to get in their van for candy or something, I would say no, but if you're uncomfortable, I would just say no and kind of walk away. If they try to grab you or anything, I would definitely yell stranger instead of yelling help, because if you're yelling help, then they would think it's your parent trying to pull you because you're doing something bad. But if you yell stranger, then they'll know that something's going on. They'll know that you don't know that person.
That sounds like a great tip right there, because otherwise it could just look like you're kind of in an argument with your parents, right? So you said yelling stranger is a good thing to do. That makes sense, right? That makes a lot of sense. So after we get to school, let's say that nobody grabbed you. Obviously, if somebody grabbed you, you're going to run and tell an adult as quick as you can. But let's say that even somebody was just following you or made you feel uncomfortable. What would you think you would do as soon as possible? Who could you tell if there was somebody who was who was following you on your way to school?
I would tell a crossing guard, a teacher, a parent, etc.
Okay, very good. Any responsible adult, preferably one that has something to do with the school, right? Yep, absolutely. And even if kids, you get to, before you get to school and you see an adult and you tell them, please make sure you tell the school as well, because we want to do everything that we can to make sure that you're safe on your way to and from school. If anybody approaches you and makes you feel uncomfortable, or you just think that there's something strange about that person, you can't do anything wrong by just mentioning it to an adult. So we strongly, strongly say you should do that, okay? So I would really like to thank Alyssa. I really appreciate her help today. We've had some great school safety tips. If you need any more, there are constantly tips and different interesting ideas and thoughts on the City of Westland Facebook page and the Westland Police Community Partnership Facebook page. So with that being said, I'd really like to wish everybody a safe and happy school year. And
that goes for parents too.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us.
Well, we hope today's special edition of In the W, our back to school special edition, was very helpful for you. Everybody here at City Hall is wishing all of our families in Westland a great school year. We want all those students to know that we're pulling for you. We're proud of you, and you are our future. Thanks for watching this episode of In the W.